It
also,
is.
it's that
It
dumb,
is 1:30.
That dumb ML football, whatever the fuck that account. Jordan. Did you go CP?
Yeah. And welcome to Hooked on Football, your go-to podcast for everything NFL. Whether you're a lifelong fan or just getting into the game, we're here to break down the action on and off the field. Each week, we'll dive into the latest news from around the league, including game recaps, picks and predictions, analysis, and insights. From injury reports to power rankings and everything in between, we'll keep you connected to all things NFL. In order to keep up with us, please like, share, subscribe, and follow, because once you're hooked on football, there's no looking back. Back for episode 12. 2 weeks left of the season to go. Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
Can't believe we're in the double digits for our episodes now.
I know.
We're basically seasoned veterans.
I hope you guys, if you've started any of your Christmas plans.
Yeah, this is it's Christmas morning right now. Merry Christmas.
You're gonna wait till Wednesday to publish?
Yeah, I figure I'd stay on our schedule.
Okay.
So Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks.
Turn this on while you're opening presents.
Yeah. Just a little background noise, you know.
We'll become the Anderson Cooper of Christmas.
There you go.
Just for this year.
I've always wanted to be the Anderson Cooper of Christmas. It's one of my lifelong dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers to you and your family.
Yes.
Your health. This episode is not sponsored by Elijah Craig whiskey, but maybe someday.
This is Gentleman Jack. Or Elijah Craig's all gone.
Well, it also is not
sponsored by
Gentleman Jack, but
they do get product placement, so good for them.
Yes.
Not a ton of news this week, so that's good.
Also recording a day early, so
yeah, a
lot of news comes out on Tuesdays.
It is currently Monday. It's still Monday night
almost
for a couple
Tuesday.
more minutes.
Yep. We were remarking on the fact that there didn't seem to be too many big injuries this week, which is good.
Yeah, but then couple decent ones to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
One, I guess not necessarily. You don't need to keep an eye on this one because this will go into next season. But Houston's wide receiver Tank Dell, who I didn't feel like was back for that long, suffered dislocated kneecap, torn ACL, and some other damage. So obviously, at this point, season ending because a sprained ankle at this point is season ending. So
yeah, rough. It was a rough injury to watch. Kind of some friendly fire from one of his other wide receivers. Although he did hold on to the ball for a touchdown. Didn't make any difference in the end because they lost, but still good on him.
Hurts all the same.
To hold on to the ball. It's impressive.
Tough guy.
C.J. Stroud and other teammates were clearly distraught by the injury. I mean, for one, it obviously hurts their chances in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Losing another wide receiver after Diggs already went down for the season.
Yep.
Back earlier. I guess about mid-season probably. Maybe before.
Yeah. And then also, apparently they're him and Stroud are like super best buds. So
yeah.
Yeah, bummer. But as far as Houston, they weren't going anywhere. So
yeah. But to replace him, they actually put in a claim for Deontay Johnson, who was just waived by the Ravens after they traded for him just before this year's trade deadline. Didn't really catch on with Baltimore. Barely played, really.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened there.
Yeah, neither. I don't understand how he looked at least as good as you can in Carolina.
Yeah, and then went to
can't do anything in Baltimore.
A good quarterback, and then absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
so much nothing. He got waived after they. I don't remember what they gave up for him. Not a ton, but
no. Yeah,
I
wanted the Broncos to make that move. I remember, and they didn't trade much for him. Which now apparently they knew more than I did, which not surprising.
Right.
But
because we're just some dudes.
Yeah. I'm actually in tight with like most of the owners and GMs. So apparently you didn't know this.
I did not.
That's why we're recording a podcast in my basement.
The tiniest room ever made. Basically,
literally a bonus room.
Basically, this is Harry Potter's bedroom.
This is a pantry.
Yeah, like if you've seen Harry Potter, You've seen the size of our studio.
The Chargers also put in the claim for Johnson. Obviously, Houston had higher priority. Which
Does that work the same way as fantasy? Crummier team gets it?
It must be. Houston's record is worse, but they're leading their division. So they're a higher seed, so apparently it just goes by record.
Huh. Oh, so higher record gets it.
No.
Oh, I get what you said.
Actually, they might have the same record, so whatever the tiebreaker is after that. But anyway, Chargers also put in the claim, which is one of the teams I really did not want him to go to.
Right.
I was hoping the Broncos would make a claim, if for no other reason, to keep him from the Chargers and the Chiefs. Yeah. But anyway, looks like he'll spend the rest of his season in Houston and see what happens this offseason. I think he's a free agent. So, and then the last bit of news that we had was left tackle Trent Williams for the 49ers out for the season, according to their head coach Kyle Shanahan, which he's kind of been in and out. And they were officially eliminated from playoff contention on Sunday. So really no reason to have him out there anymore if he's dealing with injuries.
Weird to think about them out of the playoffs.
From the Super Bowl to eliminated from the playoffs with 2 weeks to go.
Right.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I was really hoping the Lions were going to give them that final blow to knock them out, but they played this week. Lions will still be motivated after losing the way they did in the NFC Championship, so shouldn't hurt that part of it too much. But
also, they don't really need to have anything to motivate them to still against the Bears.
Right.
What was all that for? Fun.
Yep.
So that's all they're going to do.
Fun in the one seed.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll do it for the news for this week.
Some other mild injuries, but we'll see. Now let's get to Pigskin Prophecies, the segment where we unveil our picks for this week's NFL clashes, break down key matchups, analyze the stats, and make our bold predictions. Who will rise to the occasion and who will fall short? But a rough week for me. I did. I don't know football.
Yeah, seems like I ask myself almost on a weekly basis if I actually know anything about football, because
weird stuff happens.
But any given Sunday, say it for a reason.
It's the only thing that ever holds true.
Yeah,
it seems.
Well, that and the quarterback we hate the most keeps winning. First it was Tom Brady. Now it's Kermit.
Mm-hmm. And Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess I'll hop right into it.
Do we have a box of tissues
for
the first game of the week?
First game, I don't.
All the way back
so.
to Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
Broncos 9-5 at the 8-6 Chargers. Chargers were favored by 3. Brett, you picked Denver to win outright.
Yeah.
Which was looking pretty good for a little while. I had the Chargers winning and covering, which they did. Denver looked really good in the first half. Nick's throwing the ball well.
Which was about when after that I went to bed, so I
actually
went to bed thinking they won.
Yeah, they actually had a bit of a run game in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of questionable clocking game management at the end of the first half by the Broncos, which led to the rare fair catch free kick.
Yeah, weird. That was weird.
Yeah.
I know I had heard of that, but barely remembered that was even a thing.
Yeah, same.
What had it been since when? 86 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Wild.
So, but that cut the lead. It was good. They cut the lead from 11 down to 8 and kind of knew where it was going after that in my heart. But I did cash in on it. I put some money on the Chargers to win the game at the half, which obviously they did.
Yeah. No, I still felt good, but then I woke up to that.
Yep. And now Denver is in some danger of missing the playoffs. They were looking like they were gonna clinch not only a playoff berth, but maybe even the 6th seed in a first round matchup with Pittsburgh or Houston, which
Both
I would like.
not bad matchups.
Now instead, they're either going to miss out or probably play the Bills, which not great.
Rough. Both ways rough.
They do control their own destiny if they just win one of their final 2 games against Cincinnati, who is one of the teams they're competing with, or Kansas City in Week 18, who may or may not be playing for something in Week 18. We'll see. If they win one of their final 2, they lock up the 1 seed, or if Buffalo loses. So
Yeah. All they got to do is win this week, and then you probably get some backups. So
maybe, because they're already going to get the bye. I don't know if they're going to want to rest everybody for 2 weeks and risk rust.
that's true.
Yeah, we'll see. Even if they do start their starters, they probably wouldn't finish with their
Maybe
starters.
Cincinnati,
Broncos
anyways.
almost beat Kansas City the first time, so should be able to win that game. And if you can't, then you don't deserve to be in. So
I have no faith in Cincinnati.
But-
They,
well, their defense at least.
yeah.
I need Surtain to shadow Chase. Last time they matched up against each other, Chase had 1 catch for 7 yards. So if you can do that again, they're well on their way to winning that game.
Yeah. I don't get why the teams don't do that more frequently.
Yeah,
When you have that shutdown guy, why does he not shadow their top guy?
Don't know. I am not a NFL head coach.
Packers have a history of terrible defensive coordinators, so I know that very well, and I hate it.
Yeah. Well, you have a shutdown corner, but he doesn't play, so.
It's true he doesn't play this year. It's a bit of a bummer.
Although we need him to get out there against Minnesota next week because we both need that.
He shadowed Jefferson
Packers
one
win.
time, and he did nothing but get grittied on the whole game. So if he plays and he shadows him, not concerned.
Would be nice.
But I don't trust Nixon on him.
Yeah.
And then we had the
Saturday games.
Saturday games. Again, almost forgot about them. Went to finish up some Christmas shopping, and then I was like, wait a minute, I think there's games on.
Mm-hmm.
And first one was the 9-5 Texans at Arrowhead to take on the 13-1 Chiefs. KC was favored by 2.5. We both picked them to cover, and of course they did.
Mm-hmm.
They
That was kind of an easy one.
27-19. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Texans are fine.
Yeah.
So
That's about it.
I wasn't
Stroud also has
expecting
been
much.
fine.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon seems like he might be wearing down a little bit last few weeks. He's been killing me in fantasy playoffs.
Yeah.
As in, he's on my team and hasn't been doing much.
Right.
Kansas City looks like they might be getting hot at the right time, unfortunately.
Yep.
Of
of
and
course
hot
they
and
would.
healthy. Just got Hollywood Brown back, which he didn't do a ton stat-wise, but seemed to open up the offense a little bit.
So irritating.
Yeah. Xavier Worthy kind of making a little bit of a jump here at the end of the season. Not quite on par with Rashee Rice, what he was able to do last year, but still looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt actually took over running back 1 role again. Pacheco was more or less benched in the second half, which I don't know if he's battling something or what, but yeah, they getting their full complement of weapons at the right time, that's for sure.
Yeah, only slightly irritating.
Like we mentioned before, the Texans lose Dell for the season. See, that was kind of my concern with them, and they're not having enough weapons in the playoffs, especially against those top teams. So losing him
Yeah, no.
only makes
No
that
Dell,
worse.
no Diggs.
Yeah, basically down to
Got Nico
Mixon and Collins
now,
as far as elite weapons.
now Johnson.
Yeah, see if he does anything for him.
Yeah.
And then the second game of the night, 10-4 Steelers at the 9-5 Ravens in a AFC North matchup. Baltimore was favored by 6.5. You picked Pittsburgh to win outright.
Yeah, I believed in them a little too much all season so far.
I picked Baltimore to cover, and they won 34-17.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's kind of come down to earth
Yeah.
a little bit. Pickens has been out, which we kind of predicted that if he doesn't play, was gonna hurt their offensive output because they seem to rely on deep shots to him quite a bit. Him and Russ had a good connection going. Sounds like Pickens will be back this week for the game against, I think, Kansas City.
Yep.
So hopefully they turned around for 1 week.
And beat them.
Derrick Henry had a big game, 189 all-purpose yards, including 162 on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
No touchdowns, surprisingly, but
He came back.
Yeah.
Maybe that little lull was on purpose.
Yeah. Ravens, another team that seems to be playing maybe their best football at the right time.
Yeah.
Hopefully that means they can beat the Chiefs if they match up against each other.
Them or Baltimore, or them or the Bills got to do it because I don't know who else will.
I mean, if Cincy squeaks in, they're dangerous, but yeah.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh still controls their own destiny in the division, even with the loss. But they do have Kansas City and the Bengals on their schedule, so the opposite schedule of the Broncos. I'm just realizing as I read that.
Tough games.
I still think Baltimore wins the division, gets the 3 seed, which means they'll probably host the Chargers in the first round.
Baltimore got left? Texans and then probably Cleveland or probably
I think it is Cleveland. Yeah.
Well, that's a nice way to finish the season.
Yeah, especially when Pittsburgh's got 2 tough games.
I do concur with your assessment then.
Yeah, anything else on that one?
Nah.
Moving on to the Sunday games, 1 o'clock window. The 2-12 Giants at the 7-7 Falcons and Michael Penix's first start. When we recorded the pod, Atlanta was favored by 9. I have to assume that dropped a little bit with the rookie quarterback starting, but maybe not because Cousins has not been playing well. Not been playing well.
And also, neither have the Giants.
Speak of which, that's a bit of news I forgot to throw in there. Reports are that Atlanta will cut Kirk Cousins before he has a signing bonus due in March. So,
Dang.
One and done season for him. But there's a handful of teams out there that need a quarterback, so I'm feeling he'll find a landing spot. Probably even as a starter, or at least a chance to compete for a starting spot.
Yeah.
But anyway, Penix. Well, anyway, Atlanta favored by 9. You had Atlanta picked to win and cover.
Mm-hmm.
I took the Giants for God knows why
to
cover, but lose. So that was a tie for me.
Bold strategy, Cotton.
Atlanta ran away with it, 34-7.
Yeah, which is weird because Penix didn't.
He didn't put
anything.
up many. Yeah, he didn't put up big stats.
No. His one pick was, Pitts basically pitched it to the defender.
Yeah,
but
his interception was definitely not on him.
Yeah,
which I hate that plays like that still get credited to the quarterback.
Yeah,
there was one in the Chicago-Detroit game where it looked like it was Adunze's fault. Should have been his first fumble of 2, and it was credited to Williams because Adunze never had possession. But
yeah,
I don't know. It is what it is. Always been that way. So,
but also, I don't like Williams, so he can have it.
Yeah. Atlanta takes over the NFC South lead with their win and Tampa Bay loss, which we'll get into later. Yeah, like I said, Penix seemed to be pretty well under control in the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, it helps that he's been on the bench learning behind, if nothing else, Kirk Cousins.
And it helps that
seem like a good mentor.
Bijan was scoring.
Yeah, Bijan had a big game, over 100 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. Also, the defense contributed with 2 pick sixes. So.
Yep, I almost forgot about those.
Yeah, Drew Lock.
Bates, and then
one was a tip to Judon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drew Lock, yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know why Denver let him go.
I don't either.
I thought they needed to have the worst pick in the first round.
Just referring to CBS Sports back after the draft picked Bo Nix as the worst first-round draft pick this past year. So that's not making too good.
No, he's definitely top few.
Yeah. 2 pick sixes. Can't really win a game that way, especially when you have as little talent as the Giants do.
Yeah.
And the Giants now, a little bit of positive spin on it. They now hold control over the first overall pick. So
keep losing.
If they don't blow it and the Raiders keep doing dumb Raiders shit and winning, they'll have the number 1 pick.
That's right.
I'm going to guess Shador.
Yeah, Raiders are silly.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like they do this regularly.
Kind of respect still playing hard and trying to win.
But also, it doesn't mean anything. Get your first round, get your first pick, first overall.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of another bad team,
2 of them.
Yeah, a couple of them. The 7-7 Cardinals went to the 3-11 Panthers. Cards were favored by 4.5, and we picked them to cover, but Bryce of a few weeks ago came back.
Well, Carolina can't play well when they're favored.
Right,
But
that's what it is.
they're underdogs.
Then they're like, hey, don't doubt us.
Yeah, pulled off the win in overtime.
Yeah.
36-30.
36 points.
Pretty good.
Carolina,
Yeah.
36 points. Crazy. Yeah, no, Bryce played well. Threw a couple touchdowns. I think ran for one as well. And then was this the week Mr. Garden Gnome Kyler threw a couple more picks too, didn't he?
Just one.
Yeah, but Bryce, he was
also lost a fumble, so two turnovers.
Oh, Kyler. Yeah. No, Bryce played mistake-free. 68 yards rushing. And then
only 158 yards passing, but that 68 yards rushing, that's a big one. Chuba Hubbard had a big game.
Chuba had a big game too.
152 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Arizona officially eliminated from playoff contention with the loss. They were kind of a long shot anyway with the way the Rams have been playing lately.
Yeah.
They were going to have to get in as a wild card, and that was a long shot, especially when you have 3 teams in the North with 12 wins now.
Yeah, 3 teams in the North that have clinched.
Yeah. Yep, Packers clinched just a little bit ago.
If we could just get the Bears there, too. What if the whole North clinched?
Nah, that's okay.
You're right.
We can leave them out. That's never happened in history, right? Because I
don't think so.
There was only 7 playoff teams was just implemented a couple years ago, and hasn't happened since then. So
yeah,
I guess that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, but also you're right.
Leave them out.
Yep.
We'll let somebody else do that.
So Panthers future might not be so bad.
The St. Brown brothers had Xavier Legette on the podcast.
How'd they
a couple weeks ago.
do that? Did they have an interpreter?
I needed one when I listened to it.
That Cajun accent is thick.
Yeah, but Amon-Ra did actually make that parallel to the Lions from his first year, how they started out 0 and whatever, and then kind of turned it around at the end. Carolina seems to be playing better down the stretch, so maybe they'll be the next one to turn it around like the Lions have. I don't know about all that, but
yeah, I don't see them.
Although I do
getting to that Lions level.
Yeah, although I do like their head coach that they hired, Canales, offensive coordinator from Tampa Bay last year. But yeah, Arizona eliminated. Carolina obviously been eliminated. They're going to be near the top of the draft, so see what they do. Looks like Bryce Young might once again be the quarterback of the future, so can focus on something else on the top of the draft.
I like him. I'm here for that story arc of him actually being good.
Yeah, me too. Seems like a good dude anyway.
But I'm also here for the story arc of Caleb Williams being bad, which was made evident by the 12-2 Lions coming into town to take on the 4-10 Bears. Detroit was favored by 6.5. We both picked them to cover, and they did. Actually, same exact score as the Steelers-Ravens game. 34-17, Detroit won. Chicago's just bad all around.
It's weird because when you watch the game, they don't seem to. It doesn't feel like they're playing that bad. They just they don't finish drives.
I felt like they were first half of the season, maybe slightly more. They were kind of there in games. And at times Caleb made plays, but these last few weeks I'm just like everything that you guys are doing is bad. Nothing good happened. I know they ended up scoring a few. I didn't.
They had 14 in the first half.
I didn't see any of that because I was like, this game sucks. Then I started flipping around, and then later on I realized Keenan had such a big game. But
yeah, I could be wrong. I feel like the beginning of the season they were, like when I watched them, they were just playing terrible football, but somehow they were staying in the games. And then lately, I feel like they've been playing decent football, but they just
Getting
keep like
blown out,
shooting themselves in the foot, or not finishing drives or whatever. Turning the ball over.
I guess that's kind of. At no point have they looked good. They just were in games early on, and now they just keep getting blown out ever since San Francisco broke them.
Yeah. Okay.
But, Caleb is not – this does not seem like he's it. I think we've both tweeted about him recently about how, like, everyone's making all these excuses for him, but, like, he came into one of the
a great situation
for a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, all Bears fans want to.
Has done nothing. Yeah,
you don't want to switch up now that he's struggling, but that
had all the weapons.
Yeah,
like, yeah, it was all there for him, and then they've just sucked, and then also they're all trying to flex on like him breaking records. That's not a flex, dude. All that does is say. You have never drafted...
breaking franchise records?
Yeah. You have never drafted a good quarterback, ever. Somehow. In the over 100 years this team has been a team, you never once have had a good rookie quarterback. This just happens to be the best one, but he's still not good. So, they're still the Bears, and I love it.
But speaking of franchise records, Detroit gets their 13th win, first time in their franchise history.
First time they've had 13?
Yep.
I swear they had like a 13-3 or something when they had Barry. No?
Apparently not.
Damn. I swear they had some crazy year, like maybe it was like 12-4, something like that.
With 2 weeks to go.
Good for them.
What kind of wild they could still have 14 wins and not win the division.
Yeah, I know.
A wild card. But hoping
that
the
Packers
help us out.
Are about to be freaking 13-4 and be third in the division. Well, I guess they could be. If they're 13.
They're at 11 right now?
Yeah. If they end up 13-4.
Then they beat the Vikings.
Wait, they're 13-2 right now, right?
Who?
Vikings. So, I guess I don't know who has the tiebreaker there.
I know if you guys win out and Minnesota loses out, you guys become a 5 seed and Minnesota drops to 6. So
all right, so if we get to well, they'll be 13-4 and third in the division. So either way, absolutely.
You could still be 13-4 if you beat Minnesota and then Minnesota beats Detroit, then it would be Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay 13-4.
Yeah.
It's wild.
How?
That's got to be a record.
Like how are you even 13-4 in the entire conference? Like, or third in the entire conference at 13-4.
Yeah.
Like, teams have had first round byes with that.
Yeah. Yep. NFC is kind of top heavy this year for sure.
Yeah.
Not to mention
most of that
North.
in the North.
Yeah. But Goff had a big game, 336 yards, 3 touchdowns. Gibbs, they didn't really miss a beat without Montgomery other than at the goal line. Would have liked to have had him in there. I think they ran, at least on one drive, ran 3 running plays from the one. Did finally punch it in, but missed him there. Jameson Williams had a big game. First had another stupid personal foul penalty. Although it looked
hard to tell what happened.
It looked pretty weak, but the ref was right there, so I'm kind of gotta trust there.
I'm assuming he said something.
Yeah, he had the ball.
I think he probably called his mom a hoe or something. Your mom's a hoe. Flag.
He had 143 yards and a touchdown, which 82-yard touchdown. Beautiful throw and catch.
Yeah, perfectly
timed up. Before I forget, I wanted to just mention the stumble bum play that the Lions ran. When did the Packers play the Bears? Last week or a couple weeks ago?
That was early on in the.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a play where Jordan Love stumbled, or did he fumble it?
Stumbled, fumbled.
Okay.
And then recovered
it, and then the defense kind of started moving towards the ball, and it ended up turning into a big play. So the Lions decided to.
That might have even been last year that
All right.
happened. I feel like when I saw that highlight, it was Dylan that was in it back.
Okay.
But yeah, either way.
But anyway, Jared Goff faked a stumble, which that in itself is risky because he's not athletic.
And Gibbs just plopped on his belly.
Well, Gibbs pretended he was diving for the ball on the ground. And this is also kind of cool. I guess a bunch of the players on the sideline yelled ball, which
nice.
I feel like most of the times the players on the sidelines probably don't even know the play call. So the fact that they were all in on it.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I see what you're
pretty
saying.
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, went for a touchdown pass to Laporta on the left side of the end zone. So pretty
they
sweet play.
executed it a little bit better, but theirs was planned. So
right.
Because Musgrave had to spin, catch the ball, and then fell down before he scored. But yeah, it was kind of fun, especially since it was like not a tribute, but it was like, hey, that's familiar.
Right.
I saw that before.
The Detroit Special.
Uh-huh.
Also, I just had this thought: Stumble Bum play nickname. I don't know if they were like taking a shot at Jordan Love. I kind of assume not, but that was one of my first thoughts. Was like if it's a tribute to Jordan Love.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe not, but just a thought. If I'm a player in the Packers locker room, I'm running with it.
Yeah. Also based off of Lions, how they've been probably a shot at him. Just like how the players have been, like with Amon-Ra's antics and stuff. But
I don't feel like any of them have. I feel like most of them know Jordan Love's damn good quarterback.
Yeah, I guess it hasn't been directed at Love. It's just like Green Bay in general. I would hope that they knew he was good, because otherwise you're not going to be prepared.
Yeah.
But I guess not much else to say about a blowout.
Yeah.
And then the 12-2
big game of the day.
Yeah. 12-2 Eagles went to the 9-5 Commanders. Philly was favored by 3.5. We both picked Philly.
Let's be honest. If Hurts didn't get hurt in the
probably
first quarter, they probably
different.
would have covered easily. Especially with 5 Washington turnovers.
Yeah, but Washington won 36-33. Man, Philly still put up 33. I guess that's what you do with Saquon. So
yeah,
still putting up that many points. But
Saquon had a big game.
Yeah, well, he had to do everything after Jalen went out.
Yeah.
I forgot, who's their backup?
Pickett. He didn't.
He
didn't play too bad.
No, he didn't.
He actually also got hurt his ribs.
Yeah. No, he looked good. I even texted you during the game. Is Pickett actually good? he said no, and I was like, yeah, it's Washington. I forgot for a second.
Yeah. Washington didn't seem like they really wanted to win this game.
No.
5 turnovers and still win, and that's I don't know if that's impressive or what to call that, but
well, what did we call it when the Lions did it? We can't be biased. What did we call it when the Lions did it? I don't remember.
I don't
It
even.
was so long ago.
I thought you were insinuating
No.
something.
I was trying to remember. I thought maybe you'd remember.
I don't know.
Well, whatever we said then, that's what we're saying now, because we're sticking to our guns. But yeah, they.
Hurts left with a concussion, by the way.
Oh yeah, pretty early, halfway, not even
10 minutes
halfway
left in
through
the
the first quarter. But Jaden tried to blow it. Their possession before their winning drive, he threw a terrible ball and then threw another one right to Philly. But then he came out slinging that next drive. And
the final drive, he looked very good.
Yeah.
Ended the game with 5 touchdowns.
Sealed up Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I think so.
Bummer.
Especially after the way that the Broncos blew the game. I mean, if Knicks can outperform
Burrow and Mahomes
in the last 2 weeks, then obviously he has a chance.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's locked up.
I think that would say a lot more, especially last game of the season. If he beats Mahomes and the Chiefs, I think that'll get it for him. But as we said earlier, actually, I don't even know if that was on the pod. That might have been right before. Who knows if Mahomes is even going to play last week? Because if they don't have anything to play for, they might sit guys.
Yep. Philly didn't control their destiny, but they had a decent shot at the 1 seed before this game. If Minnesota would have beat Detroit in the final week.
I felt like they said they did control their destiny.
If Green Bay... Okay, maybe they did. No, because Detroit was still the 1 seed, so if Detroit would have won out, then they would have kept it. But
like they said that last week,
if Green Bay beats Minnesota beat Detroit, and Philly won out, they would get the 1 seed.
Yeah.
I think that's how it worked. But anyway, now they need quite a bit of help to get the 1 seed.
Yeah.
It's basically down to the Lions and Vikings. So, actually, if the Vikings lose to the Packers this week and the Lions beat the 49ers, the Lions lock up the 1 seed. So, obviously, that would be good for them with all their defensive injuries that they have.
Right. And be able to chill for last week.
Although, Dan Campbell, I don't know if he knows what chill is.
He needs to learn it a little, just the tiniest, littlest bit. He should learn a little bit of it.
Well, if his
he seems to know some of it.
If his aggression costs them again in the playoffs, I have a feeling he's gonna learn.
Yeah, he knows a little bit of
Hopefully
chill.
It doesn't come down to that.
Seen posts of him just chilling in his truck with his doggy with his coffee.
Yeah,
that's chilling.
Not when he gets on the sideline.
Bring that to the game a little bit.
Brings out Sasha Fierce.
Yeah.
Hey, take it easy. Last little note on that game: Saquon is on pace to eclipse 2,000 rushing yards and break the rushing record. Although, I wish that they would start recording NFL records on a per game basis, because the extra game on the schedule now.
Yeah, it's always
Dickerson has the record right now.
Yeah, what is it? It's
it's 21 something.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of AP's 2,000 yard year. I felt like it was like
2105.
2012 or something. AP had his biggest season. But so he's on pace to. What is he at right now? He's on pace
currently at 1838.
Dang, son.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do quick math in my head.
Are they going to feed him to break that, or are they going to be smart and
I don't know.
Let him not get completely worn out before the season?
He's not on pace to break it, so I don't know why I read that, but he's on pace to break 2,000 yards, has a chance to break the record. He's on pace for 2,083, so it would be just shy. But
that's not very good. He stinks.
Second thought, he's terrible.
Hey, forget we mentioned it. 2097, that's what AP had.
Oh, so he was close.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It was in 2012. That's why there was 2012 in my head. Yeah, AP.
You sure that wasn't a Freudian slip?
What do you mean?
No. All right. What were we saying about AP?
I just sometimes forget how crazy good he was.
Yeah. Really good.
And that he ended up in Detroit for a second.
Yeah. He's actually wasn't too bad. I mean, he's obviously older. Battled some injury stuff, but
and then he went to Tennessee and then Seattle.
I don't think he played much for them.
3 games for Tennessee, a game for Seattle.
Yeah,
he played 3 years ago.
Detroit was pretty much the end of his career.
He feels so much longer ago than that. It's It's just crazy that he played it all. And
it is.
Even though it was 1 game. But freaking, what do you have? 11 carries for 16 yards. And a touchdown. He scored a touchdown for Tennessee and Seattle.
That probably cemented his place in the
Hall of Fame. That one touchdown. Yep. If not for that, he'd never have a gold jacket.
What if he ran that touchdown and then they said, they just like, welcome to Canton.
Welcome to Canton. You need that 120th touchdown. Anything less?
120 touchdowns?
Yeah. Almost. 14,918
How many seasons
yards.
total? Oh, dang, he played longer than I thought.
Oh, yeah. That's like 15 seasons.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently we know nothing about Adrian Peterson.
Nope. Other than the reason Minnesota and was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But moving on, the 3-11 Browns.
You don't want to keep talking about AP?
If you want to.
I don't have anything else on him.
The 3-11 Browns traveled to Cincinnati to take on the 6-8 Bengals. Bengals favored by 7.5. Covered easily, 24-6. Kind of feels like Cleveland should have stuck with Jameis Winston because Dorian Thompson-Robinson does not look like he gives them a chance to be competitive, which I actually liked him coming out of the draft. So,
yeah. I didn't know a ton about him coming out of the draft, but
I'm sure Jerry Jeudy wishes they would have stuck with Jameis Winston too. He dropped out of the top 5 this week in receiving yards.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, that one kind of surprised me a little bit, but I guess I don't watch a ton of Seattle games.
No, I knew he had been like his main guy.
I just assume it's DK, but
no, he's been kind of not. I mean, he still every time I watch them, he still makes. I guess he didn't really during the Packers game, but
last couple games I watched, he still gets a lot of defensive attention.
Yeah,
and then they use that against the defense and go to the other weapons. But Cincinnati keeps their playoff hopes alive with their win. They need to win out, need Denver to lose out, and Indianapolis to lose one game. So the Cincinnati-Denver matchup this coming week is going to be a big one. Not feeling too great about it, but their defense obviously not great.
If Surtain shadows Chase, they win.
I think so too. I just don't know if he does it.
Yeah.
Also, they need Riley Moss back because I know he's a white corner, so it sounds counterintuitive, but without him, their defense has really been struggling. So
hey, Green Bay's got one now too.
Yeah, 3 of them in the league now.
Weird, wild stuff.
Yep. Also, well, we'll get to that later. Never mind. Do you have anything else to say about that game?
Nah.
Probably not too much to say about the next one either. Titans 3-11 face off against the 6-8 Colts. Colts favored by 3.5. We both picked them to cover, and they did.
I saw the score early on, and I was like, "Oh goodness!" Indianapolis absolutely destroyed them.
It was weird. Tennessee went up 7-0. They moved down the field with ease on the first drive. Calvin Ridley touchdown, and then I stopped watching for a while, and then I tuned back in, and Indy was way ahead.
Yeah, and then I saw the final score later on, and I was like, "Oh dang!" And Tennessee put up 15 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Broncos got no help as far as playoff go, which obviously a lot of that's on them. But Indianapolis also keeps their playoff hopes alive with that win. And actually, they only need to win out and Denver to lose out.
3 picks. So what do you expect?
Oh, I forgot Rudolph started that game. Yeah. Not great.
No.
Pollard was back, but didn't do much.
No.
I don't.
Spears had a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
Which so annoying because did absolutely nothing all year, fantasy wise, and then
he was playing good when Pollard was out, which makes sense. But for Pollard to be back and still to put up 2 touchdowns is kind of surprising. I released him in one of my leagues, which I wasn't going to play him anyway. But
Spears or Pollard?
Spears.
Yeah. And then we had the 8-6 Rams at the 4-10 Jets. Rams were favored by 3.5. I fell for it, but if you watched last week's episode, you'll get the reference. But ex-girlfriend's still a bitch, so they fooled me again. They looked like same old, early on Jets, and it was rough. So LA won, covered. You had predicted that. They won 19-9. Jets came out looking good. First couple drives. First drive, 99 yards, touchdown to Devontae.
Rodgers to Devontae connection. Yeah. It's looking good again.
And then just miscue after miscue. And then they finished that game phenomenally with a missed field goal and then a muffed punt. So
their defense just not good.
Especially their it's weird because numbers still top 5-ish in the league.
As far as yards go.
Yards and scoring. But their situational...
They had 0 sacks again.
Their situational defense, so bad. Like, anytime they need a stop, they're not getting it. It's so Jets, though. Like, to have the worst, best defense.
Yeah.
Because, like...
Kind of like the worst, best corner.
Uh-huh. Because, again, I was trying to figure out, like, what the is their issue? Like, how do they lose so much? Because, like... And, I mean, that's the nature of playing quarterback. You're getting all the blame. But, like, I'm like, every time I watch, Rodgers is not that bad. Mm-hmm. He's not old Rodgers, but he's not Jameis Winston out there. He's not Will Levis. He's not
said old
junkie.
Rodgers. I thought you were old.
No. He's
Rodgers
old Rodgers,
old.
not Rodgers of old.
Yeah.
And so I was like watching them, their defense is awful. So I was like, I went and looked at defensive stats, and I'm like, oh, no picks at all. They have a couple the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But I think prior to these last couple weeks, they had 2 all season, so like no turnovers really.
Yeah.
Had a few forced fumbles, but then I looked at like the scoring and the yards, and I'm like, they're like top 5 in both of these, so that doesn't make any sense. But then I was just thinking about all the games, and then watching this game, like situationally, they're terrible. Like I said, anytime they need to stop, can't get it. They don't get the sacks. They don't get the turnovers. I don't know. Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
They're an enigma.
Nice. I see what you did there.
What did I do there?
The enigma thing. I thought you were saying that because of Rodgers' show.
Oh no!
you were accidentally clever.
Not be watching that. That was a Freudian slip.
Yeah. He's not gonna watch it, but actually, it was a lot better than I expected.
I might watch it eventually when I get bored and hate my life.
So you'll watch it tonight?
Yeah. Yes. No.
It was surprisingly good.
Yeah. Kyron Williams had a big game, 129 all-purpose yards and a touchdown. Turning point of the game kind of was the Rodgers fumble, which led to...
Yeah.
Was it the only touchdown of the game for the Rams?
I
Higbee
believe
touchdown.
So.
Must have had 4 field goals.
Yeah. They watching the game, it felt over a bit before that, but that definitely solidified it.
Yeah. A lot of rumors and talk about Garrett Wilson, whether he wants to stick around or not. Was more or less asked about it and didn't sound too enthused about it. But
is his contract up this year?
No.
Why is there talks of
first round? I just think he wants out.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I think they need to do whatever they can to keep him, Rodgers, and Devontae for another year, and there's more there. Figure it out.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for being as bad as they are.
No. But the Rams now hold a 1-game lead in their division. They still face off against Seattle in week 18, which potentially could be for the division if they both win this week. So, fun matchup to possibly look forward to. I would definitely pick the Rams to win that.
Yeah, based off of, I mean, they didn't look terrible, which we'll get to here in a second.
Seattle?
Yeah. But the week prior they did. Even when Geno was in, I know they got a little bit of howl, but that game. But even when Geno was in, they didn't look great against the Packers. But I guess that's Geno.
Yeah.
He's like a boring Jameis Winston.
Yeah. But I guess we'll move on to that game. The 12-2 Vikings traveled to Seattle to take on the Seahawks in the 12th man, who are sitting at 8-6. Minnesota was favored by 3.5. We both picked them to cover.
12th man seemed to make a little bit of a reappearance.
Yeah, after the Packers game. Yeah. The Packers had the 12th man that week.
Yeah.
Minnesota won 27-24, so just missed the cover, but we at least got the winner right.
Mm-hmm. Man, I wanted Seattle to win.
Yeah, same. But
Geno
I got one of two. The Eagles lost, so I'll take what I can get because before this week, the Lions were getting zero help.
Yeah.
So that was nice to see. Seattle took a 24-20 lead with 4:21 left in the fourth quarter. I was hoping that was going to be the end of it, but Minnesota responded with a game-winning touchdown drive. Justin Jefferson wide open for 39-yard touchdown pass. Tariq Woolen and I forget their safety's name. I don't know what they were doing. How are you not going to pay attention to the best receiver in football? Arguably.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Every time I think of Justin Jefferson, I still remember. I can't never not think of watching. I can't even. I've blocked it out. Whoever, because this has been the last few times I've tried to think of it. Whoever the Packers' last defensive coordinator was, it's just gone from my memory. I think it's like a trauma blocking thing.
You know better than me.
When he schemed up Preston Smith covering Justin Jefferson,
I do remember that.
I just think about that all the time. Every time I see Justin Jefferson, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Wait, you don't like that?
Put Preston Smith on him. No, I don't. Because also...
But he's bigger.
You're right. Yeah. All right. I just can't help but get pissed off every time I think of him because I think of that. Yeah. Makes no sense. But
Seattle still had their chances after that, though. They
did.
Got in range for a field goal, albeit a very long one, and Myers' 60-yard field goal attempt. Probably should have just kicked it away because it was not close.
No. It did actually just barely
get
make it out of bounds.
Oh.
It was like pink right on the line.
Lions had one of those too, but that was a 65-yarder, so in the cold in Chicago. So that's plus it was at the end of the half, not with time left. Yeah. That was at the 2-minute warning. They were able to force a punt and get the ball back, but then Geno threw a game-sealing interception.
Beautiful pick.
Looked like maybe DK
maybe they were
quit on the route, but also he wasn't open. So
right, he was
just a bad decision.
Yeah, because I had sent you that text about how Geno sucks, and then you said that might have been on the receiver, and then they showed I saw a replay after that, and I was like, there was 3 dudes right there, so that never should have went there anyway. Where was Metcalf supposed to go?
Yeah, and it wasn't. There was still some time left, and it was early down, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
no need for it.
Not great. He was visibly upset after that, but couldn't pull
and so
it
was
out.
I.
Yeah. So were we.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next game, which the biggest spread of the week.
And a game I didn't pay attention to at all. Somehow it just wasn't. Whenever I was flicking through them on
I
YouTube
saw early
TV,
on that the Patriots were ahead. Well, real quick, the Patriots 3-11, Bills 11-3. Buffalo was favored by 14.
Seems like a fair spread.
They won but did not cover. Won 24-21. I did see early in the game that New England was ahead 14-0, and I was like,
dang!
Oh, what's happening here? But also, I was thinking, the Bills are going to come back and win easily.
Yeah,
which they didn't do. They actually got gifted a scoop and score right on the goal line.
Oh yeah,
which was, I don't know. It seemed like that play took forever for anybody to recover the ball. The ball was just laying there, and players were kind of stumbling or I don't even know. You'll have to watch it.
Is this actually
kind of hard to explain?
Is this actually happening? Is this ball right here? Should I grab it?
But that kind of gave Buffalo control of the game. Wish their offense would have looked like that against Detroit. But,
right.
New England does have a decent defense anyway.
I didn't see any of it. YouTube TV was weird this weekend. During the 1 o'clock games, there was a few games I didn't even see anywhere when I was flipping through. And then same with this one. Towards the end of the game, I was like, what? Buffalo's playing right now? And then I clicked on that.
Now that you mentioned that, there was a game I wanted to tune into, and I was looking for it, and I ended up having to search for it.
Yeah.
But Allen might have opened the door for Lamar Jackson MVP.
Yeah.
Allen did not have a very good game. It wasn't terrible by any means, but yeah.
What was it? A touchdown and a pick, I think.
Or if the Bengals can somehow squeak into the playoffs, might be a Burrow conversation.
If Burrow squeaks in there, wins out, squeaks in there.
Yeah,
that might wrap it up.
Stats, that's for sure.
Because we know
historically
it's
goes to the quarterback of one of the 1 seeds, but more often than not. But obviously doesn't sound like it's going to go to Mahomes or Goff. So
no, definitely Goff over Mahomes.
Yeah.
Anyone who still thinks
Which
Mahomes
I feel like
should
I've
get
seen
it, you're high.
most experts or people's opinion I respect at least
Yeah.
don't have Mahomes near the top of the MVP vote.
It took way too long for Mahomes to come out of the top of the MVP vote this year, but he did.
I think a lot of that was projecting him to pick it up, which he is now not put up huge stats, but he's playing better than he was. But yeah, we'll see. MVP race might get interesting down the stretch. Do you have anything else on that game?
No.
And moving on to the 3-11 Jaguars at the 2-12 Raiders. Vegas favored by 1.
Both picked Jacksonville.
Yeah. But Vegas, like we mentioned earlier, not very smart.
No.
Won the game, gave away control over the first overall pick.
First overall picks are stressful, though. Maybe they don't want it. Maybe let's get the second.
To be fair, this draft, I feel like there's no surefire pick.
But still,
in the last 2 drafts, the quarterback 2 has been better than quarterback 1.
But still, get the first pick and trade it if you don't want it.
Right. Yeah.
Just pro tip from your standard everyday ordinary fella. Yeah, no, this ended up being surprisingly fun to watch. I watched a little bit of it, and I was like, hey.
Well, tell me about it, because I didn't watch a second.
How is this the fun game right now?
Actually, I don't even know was it Mac Jones versus O'Connell?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was O'Connell.
I have no idea. I didn't watch a minute of that game.
Anytime I say anything, I was like, wait a minute.
Wait.
I get scared. Yeah, O'Connell. Yeah, I knew it. Just go with your
Actually,
gut.
decent stat line for both of them.
No, neither of them were awful. I mean, obviously
Ran around 250 yards.
Not a
no
high-flying, high-scoring game, but
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, how's this the most?
What happened to Travis Etienne?
I don't know.
Got nothing.
Yeah. He's going to be like...
Another guy I traded in our Dynasty League that is coming up roses right now.
He's going to be like all those other running backs who were good for a second.
Yeah.
Remember Leonard
like
Fournette?
Adrian Peterson?
Well...
He's good for like 1 year.
But then also another one and 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 another one.
Now, Fournette was good for 2, though.
It's
Jaguars true. 1 year with Blake Bortles, he kind of carried them and then helped Tom Brady win a Super
Remember
Bowl.
Blake Bortles getting to an AFC championship?
Dude, goated.
Dude, have you seen The Good Place?
Very little of it. I'm not a fan.
Have you guys seen The Good Place? There's a guy in it, Jason. He's from Jacksonville. He's so dumb, but he loves the Jaguars and Blake Bortles, and he always talks about Blake Bortles. And because of that, can't ever not think of that show when I think of Blake Bortles, and makes me love Blake Bortles.
Not often do I think of Blake Bortles except for his tenure in Denver, which was terrible.
I forget about that. I don't remember Jacksonville Blake Bortles.
Well, they had about 15 quarterbacks in about a 4-year span.
Yeah,
he was one of them, so easy
dude,
to forget about
so
quite a few.
Osweiler, Bortles,
Keenum.
Yeah.
Even I can't name them all.
Good times. Osweiler.
Chad Kelly.
Forgot about him.
Who else? Russ.
Yep.
Yeah. Not fun. Not good times. Speaking of also not good times, the 49ers eliminated from the playoffs with their loss at Miami this week. Both teams were 6-8 coming in. Miami favored by 1. I correctly picked Miami to win and cover. Obviously cover if they win. You had San Francisco winning outright.
San Francisco tricked me. They put up like 75 against the Bears the week before and then decided they still sucked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those makes you feel like you don't know football.
Right. So do we acknowledge that Purdy's not that good and he just had elite weapons and great coaching that kind of carried him? He's fine.
I mean, every quarterback needs weapons, so there's that. Like you said, he's fine.
Yes, but also, like, good quarterbacks make a lot more with a lot less than Debo and McCaffrey and Ayuk and Kittle.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, this year it's basically only been Kittle and
Right.
a terrible Debo.
Yeah.
But,
and then Juwan Jennings, though, and Ricky Pearsall,
Yeah.
who Ricky Pearsall, you know, if he was in New England 10 years ago, would be the best receiver
Super
in the
Bowl
league.
MVP.
Also, if he was in Green Bay 10 years ago, opposite Jordy Nelson, woo!
I don't know. They'd have to go against white corners nowadays.
That's
so.
true. That's true. DeJean and Zane Anderson shut him down.
Yeah. Miami stays alive with their win, but they need a lot of help. So probably not going to happen for them, but we'll see. Devon Achane, 190 all-purpose yards. Definitely MVP of that game.
Yeah.
I think I already said San Francisco eliminated from playoffs.
Yep.
A year after being in the Super Bowl. So kind of the
weird,
one of the wild storylines from this season. We'll see what their summer looks like.
I mean, it's going to be a while till they're good again.
Probably in trouble if they pay Purdy market value.
Yeah. There's too many guys they need to replace. It's going to be I think it's rebuild time.
Yeah. Mike McDaniel, Dolphins head coach, was heard on a hot mic talking to Nick Bosa about how lovely South Florida is.
Trying to recruit him.
Yeah. Which he came from San Fran, right? Offensive coordinator a few years ago.
Oh, I believe so.
Yeah, so obviously has a relationship with him. So
yeah,
keep your eye on
there's
Bosa to Miami.
There's
maybe.
A few of those guys that should probably jump ship. Fred Warner, I don't know how old he is now. He's probably around 30. Maybe he's a little older now.
I feel like he's been so good for so long, but he's probably only around 30.
Yeah. He looks so freaking good if he's older than that.
Oh, only
he's 28.
Oh, I don't like this.
Fred. Oh, yeah. That just...
Look up
looks
Fred
like,
Warner's BYU picture. It's not the same guy. And
is that
this
Marcus
guy's
Mariota?
Not that good at football.
No, this guy's not good
but this
at
guy is
that
a
guy,
stud.
Best linebacker in the league. That guy sucks. That guy, bad quarterback. That guy, best linebacker in the league.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
No. I do it. That's
only people.
That's how I that's how I decide if guys are good at football.
How they look?
Yeah.
Who? Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Who, in all of NFL history, who is the? I'm trying to decide which way to go with it. Who's the best player that does not look like an athlete in football? Because you can't go with CC Sabathia.
So.
Just a freaking tub out there.
So currently, I'd have to say, Van Ginkel, because dude's way too good for how
he's so good, but
ugly and regular he looks.
Yeah, he's the Make-A-Wish or the Temu Alex Anzalone.
Yeah. Man. It's tough. There's too... Or
my other one was who looks like they would be so good, and they're just terrible.
Oh, there's so many of them.
But the other one's more fun.
The other one is more fun because that one, there's so many.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of... we were just talking about these no-name running backs with the most insane deltoids. Just absolutely shredded.
What about this guy?
So, yeah, obviously the easy pick is Tom Brady, and then he ends up being amazing. Because I actually had friends that didn't look this disgusting without their clothes on. I was actually... None of my friends looked that pathetic without clothes on.
It's just a specimen.
And somehow he's the best quarterback
ever do it.
in the history of the
look
NFL.
At the picture of Mahomes in the locker room when he took his shirt off.
Yeah, fat fuck. Oh, so yeah, to be a good quarterback, don't be. Well, Mahomes is pretty athletic.
Yeah.
Be a little bit chunky, and mildly athletic. Or don't be athletic. Be mildly athletic or
that's
not
the key.
athletic, and also be a little bit fat.
Giants.
Yep.
Don't take Shador. Way too athletic.
He's way too athletic. He's way too lean. Listen to me.
We've gotten on a little bit of a rabbit trail here.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose all of our listeners.
Honestly, I think that's the stuff they're going to like the best.
I was talking about Tom Brady's physique.
Yeah. Best physique in the league.
I don't even remember where we were. Anyway, we'll move on to Sunday Night Football.
Buccaneers 8-6 at the 6-8 Cowboys. Tampa was favored by 4, and they blew it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Dallas won 26-24. Dallas looked good. Why?
I don't know. Yeah, I can't really put my finger on it either. I don't feel like the run game was great.
No.
I mean, they were better than they were early in the season.
Cooper was slinging it, and Tampa just couldn't stop him.
But Brandon Cooks kind of makes a difference for them.
He's 75. How is he still doing anything?
I don't know. Everywhere he goes, I don't know.
He's always a weapon.
Yeah.
Him and frickin' Bobby Trees. 2 old guys who won't go away.
Yeah. Robert Woods hasn't done much last couple of years, though, has he?
I feel like he did this year.
For Houston?
I just feel like he did something, and because I specifically remember you at some point while we were watching football together this year saying Bobby Trees.
I think I just said that after a regular catch. He's only
could
got
have just been a
16
conversion.
receptions for 143 yards, no touchdowns. So,
well, fine.
see his last good season. 426 last year, 527, 556, 2020.
Well, fine.
2018 through 2020, he was around 1,000 yards.
How old is he now?
32.
Yeah, well, either way, Tampa lost. I don't get it.
Yeah. Didn't see that one coming, especially because they needed it as far as playoff race.
I guess sort of kind of typical trap game.
Yeah. I just would have felt like Baker going back home to Texas would have
battered
showed out in a Sunday Night Football game, but
maybe.
Oh, Cooks is only 31.
How?
I don't know. He's been in the league since
I was a baby. Exactly.
Loss ends Tampa Bay's 4-game win streak.
Yeah.
Gives Atlanta back the division lead and control.
They don't even have a quarterback.
But Atlanta...
How are they leading the division?
But Atlanta does have a tougher schedule to come, I think. Yeah. I forget who they play this week, but I haven't picked to lose.
You know what Commanders. It is? It's because I talked about last week how easy Tampa's remaining schedule was, so just had to jinx it.
It's on you.
Yep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Baker. I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah. Dallas, we love this. Eliminated from playoff contention, although they've been eliminated for a while in reality.
Yeah. It's just so fun that they won and then were eliminated.
Yeah. Well, they were eliminated before the game, but...
Oh, still, this week they won and then they're also eliminated.
Yeah, someone interviewed Parsons before the game, and he said it was about showing our character and whatever.
Yeah, also McCarthy's going to be coaching for his job these last couple games.
Speak of which, I think they keep him around. Jerry Jones was kind of singing his praises after the game, so...
Yeah, I think they keep him... I don't think it's... They've had, obviously, hella injury, big injury. Your starting quarterback, that's rough.
And it took them a while to figure out their running back.
Yeah. So they had a few things they were figuring out this year. Also, Jerry Jones is notorious for being dumb.
Yeah,
so
he'll sign him to a big contract.
He'll be there for 4 more years. But yeah, no, I'm fine with it. Although, like I said before, I like Mike, so I don't.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to watch him just rot away in Dallas. But
yeah, I thought you were going the opposite way, that you want to see him keep his job.
Oh no, I don't. I don't want Dallas to be good, so I'm always going to be rooting against him. But then, like, watching him just continue to suck will be a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah. And then moving on to the final game of the week, 5-9 Saints took on the 10-4 Packers. Green Bay favored by 13.5, and they easily covered.
Yeah.
Actually, the first shutout of the entire season.
Wild.
Which is, I did not.
We
did not realize that.
Terrible matchups.
Yeah. And actually, there's never been a season without a shutout, so would have been kind of cool to see New Orleans score
this next week.
Have the first.
Minnesota also will not score next week.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. 6-0 Packers win. I would love that.
Nah, it's going to be 34-0 again.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that too. But Green Bay clinched their playoff spot. Like we mentioned before, just well-balanced team win.
Yeah.
Nothing super flashy. Love was fine.
Yeah.
Took care of the ball.
Didn't need to do anything.
Had 9 players with a rush, which is a Green Bay record. So.
Which is weird. Why so many people run the ball?
Because they knew I had a bet on Josh Jacobs to have 35 yards in each half. That's why.
What it was. Also, they knew I needed Love to have some more yards, and they knew I needed Watson to have a touchdown. So, like, hey, everyone's running the ball.
Yep. But, good win for Green Bay. That was the second largest spread of the week, so kind of saw it coming. But
yeah. Didn't see 34-0 coming, but.
Yeah. Spencer Rattler, not looking like an NFL quarterback.
For a minute, he did there. There was a drive where he had some good throws. Obviously stalled out because they still scored no points, but made a few throws.
But yeah, that brought our records for the week to 6-8-2 for Brett, 9-4-3 for me, 82-44-36 on the season for Brett, 90-32-40 for me. You're sitting at 60, just shy of 62%. I'm just shy of 68%.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to put in some real work to catch me now.
Yeah.
Although, maybe we'll do a reset for the playoffs.
Sure, that sounds nice.
Maybe we'll put something on it.
Anyway,
moving
let's
to
get to week 17.
Christmas Day games.
Weird.
I'm sure the NBA hates that, especially with their ratings crash this season. But got 2 Christmas Day games, starting with the
on Netflix
14-1 Chiefs. Don't ask Mahomes about that because he'll. Never mind.
What
did you hear about the Chiefs griping about having to play 3 games in how many days it was?
Yeah,
but
I mean, kind of bummer, but also.
Yeah, and like a lot of teams are begging for primetime games. So
right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, 14-1 Chiefs at the 10-5 Steelers. Kansas City favored by 3, which seems low.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Kansas City hasn't blown anybody out this year, so I guess maybe not. I have Kansas City winning and covering, but hope I'm wrong.
I just didn't get rid of just that one pick from last week. I also had the Chiefs covering, unfortunately.
Idiot.
Yeah. Steelers have been a bummer.
Yeah. They do get Pickens back this week, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that makes a difference, but probably not. And for the
that's when I'd
Ravens'
love
sake,
to be wrong
hopefully
on.
not. Yeah. Then the second Christmas Day game is the 10-5 Ravens at the 9-6 Texans. Baltimore favored by 5.5. I'm picking a lot of favorites this week.
Yeah.
Going with Baltimore to win that one. I think they win by double digits.
Yeah, I've also got Baltimore covering that one. They're just, it's the Texans.
Yeah. And like we said, Baltimore playing well.
Yeah.
I don't know what the stats look like, but I don't think Houston's rush defense is great, so King Henry might have
another great game.
Yeah.
And then moving on to the next day, Thursday night, we got so many days of football this week.
Yeah.
5 days of football this week. We just had Monday night. Then we got Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So Thursday night we got the 8-7 Seahawks going to Soldier Field to take on the 4-11 Bears. Seahawks are favored by 3.5. I think they cover that because the Bears suck.
Agreed. I don't think it's particularly close. Particularly, it's late.
Particularly.
I don't think it's testicularly close. Yeah. Seattle wins by a touchdown, I think.
Yeah.
Not too much to say about it. Saturday games, got 3 of them.
Yeah.
With a couple big ones. Well, I guess kind of only one. First, starting off with the 9-6 Chargers at the 3-12 Patriots. Chargers favored by 4. Man, some of these spreads just don't seem high enough. Maybe it's the short week. Change the schedule kind of stuff.
Could be.
But anyway, I have Chargers winning and covering. I don't know. I think they'll be riding high after their comeback win against Denver.
Yeah. Chargers cover that.
Yeah.
And then we've got the
big one.
9-6 Broncos at the 7-8 Bengals. Cincinnati's favored by 3. I got Broncos winning this. They're both. I mean, both teams are in a we need to win. Yeah, I like the Broncos. I just don't trust Cincinnati yet.
One thing I just thought of, I didn't think of before. Chiefs would probably rather the Broncos got in than the Bengals, so they might not let the Broncos win, but in Week 18.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Just a little thought ahead. But I do have Cincinnati winning and covering in this game. Hope I'm wrong.
I think we get a third Benito touchdown.
Denver kind of let me down last week. That was painful.
Yeah, it was rough.
Benito disappeared last week after all the talk about him.
Oh, I know it. He's on my fantasy
hits,
team.
No sacks, can't kill him for no turnovers because defensive ends usually don't.
He didn't have any freaking touchdowns.
Yeah. Freaking bum. Yeah, he kind of disappeared. So hopefully he comes back with a vengeance in this one and ruptures Burrow's spleen or something. Just kidding. That's not very nice on Christmas.
No, we like Burrow.
Yeah.
Next week, rupture spleens. Okay.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, and then
we're terrible.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm at peace. And then we got the 7-8 Cardinals at the 9-6 Rams. LA favored by 6. I picked them to cover.
I also with you.
They've been playing well, and
Arizona's eliminated.
Frankly, the Cardinals haven't been. And they don't even get to play spoiler in this, so they're not going to be motivated that way.
Yeah.
I mean, sort of, kind of, but also not really get to play spoiler.
Yeah.
So I got the Rams covering.
Agreed. Which brings us into the Sunday games, 1 o'clock window. 3-12 Raiders at the 5-10 Saints. Gonna be a good one,
dude.
New Orleans favored by 2.
This one
after today, that's tough. But
I put a caveat on this one because I need to start actually doing that instead of just being whatever, because I'm losing. I have Raiders winning, but if Carr comes back, I think the Saints cover. Because hey, Desmond's not good.
Who?
Wrong guy.
Not that guy.
Spencer. They're the same dude. Riddler.
That's
Riddler.
Where you mixed it up, yeah. No, he's not good. But Derek Carr sounded like he had a chance to play tonight. So
yeah, I think he'll be back.
I mean,
there's no reason to come back, but they're like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we both agree on that. Well, I guess we don't agree because you said only after Carr comes back. But moving on to the 7-8 Cowboys at the 12-3 Eagles. Philly favored by 9.5, which ties the largest spread of the week. But I think they cover. If Hurts plays.
If Hurts plays, they cover. If he doesn't, they win, but Cowboys cover.
Agreed.
I don't know the severity of this concussion. I haven't. It's only Monday.
He did come back in for a couple plays after the concussion, which tells me it wasn't that bad, but I don't know.
Or he was being sneaky and they're like, oh, wait a minute.
Hey, we took you out.
So, yeah, we'll see. But, like we said, it's only Monday night, so we can't really – we don't know. We don't have any information.
Yeah. But then the next game we got is the 7-8 Colts, who we mentioned are fighting for a playoff spot at the 2-13 Giants. Indy favored by 7.5. I think they easily cover.
Yeah, they cover.
Giants playing for nothing.
Colts cover. Giants, even if they were playing for something.
Yeah.
Anybody's covering that.
Agreed. Which takes us to the 4-11 Jets at the 12-3 Bills. Here, potentially trying to play spoiler. Bills still technically fighting for the 1 seed.
Buffalo favored by 9.5.
Yeah. I have them winning and covering. Although,
hey, me too.
Yeah, especially after their performance this week. I'm feeling they'll come back with a little bit of vengeance.
And
although
Josh
Jets. Allen did say in an interview this week that they're kind of balancing how much of their offense they should show when they already have the playoffs clinched and kind of have their seeding clinched. I like it, but also kind of a proponent of playing your brand of football whenever you go out there. But I don't know.
Yeah, I got the Bills covering.
Yep, agreed. And then we got the 3-12 Titans at the 3-12 Jaguars. Another big one. Jacksonville favored by 1.
I can't believe that's in the 1 o'clock spot.
Yeah, I have Jacksonville winning. Obviously covering. But obviously it's a pick up for a reason.
What did I put? I got Titans winning. Okay. Just because how they finished that game last week.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, dude, Mason's a dog. They finished that game strong. And yeah, Jags suck, so. But so do Titans. Who knows? I just got to be different because I got some ground to make up.
Yep.
And then we got the 4-11 Panthers at the 8-7 Buccaneers. Tampa is favored by 8. I believe I have the Bucs covering. I do. They got to win.
Yeah.
And they know that. So
I'm going with Carolina to lose but cover. I think Tampa Bay wins by 6 or a touchdown. But we'll see. Give you a chance to.
It's going to be one of the 50-point games for Tampa.
Oh. I think I meant total.
No, that'd be boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I've Carolina just covering.
They've been playing well, so wouldn't be surprised.
A backdoor cover.
Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah. Although spread might even move, but for where it's set right now. Yeah, moving to the 4 o'clock window. 7-8 Dolphins at the 3-12 Browns. Miami fighting for playoffs spot. Miami favored by 6.5.
I got the Finns covering.
If DTR plays, I definitely have Miami covering.
Yeah.
I won't put an asterisk on it, but if Jameis plays, it could be close.
Would they really switch back?
I mean, DTR looked terrible.
Well,
but
I kind of thought so. Thought he was gonna.
Yeah. But yeah, I got Miami covering.
I tried to tell him last week that's not an upgrade.
They didn't listen.
They didn't.
I don't know why.
Idiots.
Then the last afternoon game, the 11-4 Packers at the 13-2 Vikings. That should have been, well, it was flexed into the 4 o'clock window, but would have been nice to see that one in prime time. That's a big one.
Yeah, because Falcons at Commanders, woo.
I mean, yeah, Falcons do lead the division and Commanders are in the playoffs, but still, Packers Vikings definitely a bigger game.
Yeah.
Minnesota actually favored by 1.5.
Actually, let's see if that changed after that game. I was curious. And luckily, we're recording after that game. Be faster.
Still 1.5.
Still 1.5. Okay. Doesn't matter.
No. We both, I'm guessing, have Green Bay winning outright.
Packers by 50.
Well, I'm putting that in here. Yeah, I think Green Bay wins outright.
Yeah.
Some wishful thinking, but also believe it.
Yeah.
Just
Vikings keep winning, but they don't.
why?
What?
How?
So how do the Vikings win?
Who? When?
Darnold. Now.
That's true.
I don't know why. They just keep winning, but they never look good. And, I mean, you play the schedule you got. Everyone does. But their strength of victory is pretty low. So, they haven't been beating a ton of great teams. Obviously, beat Packers earlier, which surprising that even with that win, their strength of victory is still so low.
Good teams they've beaten. Texans.
Which
They demolished them.
fine.
Packers almost came back after being way down.
Yeah. That was a
Colts are okay. Falcons were
they beat the Titans.
then. Wow. How could I forget?
And the Bears?
Seahawks twice. Once in overtime.
Dang.
So yeah.
No.
Packers would be their best win, and that was
a
very
injured
early in.
injured Love, and
Yeah.
that was so early in the season. And Packers only look way better than they did early on, and Vikings look worse. So I like their odds.
It would be nice to see the Vikings lose their last two and go into the playoffs as the sixth seed and on a cold streak.
Go back to their spot.
Yeah.
The couch.
Yeah, I was trying to decide if I think how hard I think the Lions are going to go if they've already secured the 1 seed, but I have a feeling trying to sweep the division would be
Dan doesn't
kind of a goal.
doesn't know anything else.
Yeah, that's true.
He's always hard.
I feel like he could possibly be convinced to go hard
Always
while
hard.
they're in, but then pull them if it doesn't
Maybe.
anything. But yeah, hard to say.
I think
They'd have a bye the week after.
I think he takes those Rhino XL pills from the gas station. He's always hard.
Oh my God. Well, that took a turn. Did you make your pick for Washington Falcons?
No.
We didn't move on to that one yet.
We
That's
didn't move
why,
on to that one. Yeah.
Why didn't you make your pick? Anyway, Sunday Night Football. Do you have anything else to say about Packers Vikings? No. Good, because I don't want to hear it. 8-7 Falcons at the 10-5 Commanders. Washington favored by 4. I have the Commanders covering.
Yeah.
Although I like what I saw from Penix, and
it was
fun to see a rookie quarterback battle. So
that's true. That will be fun.
Yeah, but I have Washington covering.
You know what? Now I'm okay with that being Sunday night football.
Yeah.
As long as Penix is still starting.
Yeah.
Which, no reason to not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Jaden and Penix.
Yep. Final game of the week, 13-2 Lions at the 6-9 49ers.
Do you have anything else to say about that one?
Detroit favored by 3.5 points. I have Detroit winning and covering, and I'm ignoring you.
He's not to my games.
I think Detroit wins big. Amon-Ra was asked about
3.5's such a small spread.
Yeah,
for that.
He was asked if they had motivation after losing to them last year, and he said, I want to win. So, which that in and of itself doesn't mean much, but I just have, the way he said it.
He's the only one that's out there that's mad.
I want to win.
It'd be cool to win.
Yeah. I think they win and cover.
Yeah, such a small spread for that game.
Yeah.
That spread should be double digits.
Disrespectful. Not really, but kind of.
A little bit. Makes our pick easy.
Yep. that'll do it for our Week 17 picks.
Put your money on it.
See if Brett can make up a little ground here.
Considering our picks weren't that much different, I can't.
Yeah, sure. 1, 2, 3-ish.
Yeah, I would say at least one or two of them was
I win.
Only half.
Now it's time to dive into the Hooked Hierarchy, the part of the pod where we unveil our top 10 NFL squads, ranking teams based on performances, stats, and maybe a little bias. Who's rising to the top and who's slipping down the ranks. Get ready for some heated debates and some surprising picks as we break down the best of the best.
I don't feel great about mine.
I don't either.
I hope we went the same route of not feeling great.
Okay.
Especially the bottom few.
Got some shakeups in our top 10 this week, I have a feeling.
Yeah, it was rough.
Picking some big losses.
Rough to pick.
Yeah. Don't love mine. Which seems like this time of year you would kind of be solidified in where you're.
For some reason it's getting harder and harder and harder.
Yeah, so am I.
Every week. You're getting harder and harder and harder. Yeah, I guess to hop right into it. We'll start with my 10. Got the Steelers. They got handled by the Ravens, but they are still first in their division, so I kept them up there. Also didn't know who else to put up there. Under like 7, I'm like, I don't like any of these teams.
Yeah.
I don't trust any of them. So,
same. Yeah,
that's my 10.
My number 10 is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of disappointed is not the right word because I'm not a Pittsburgh fan. Didn't really want them to win, but was underwhelmed by their performance against the Ravens.
As a Steeler, that would be a disappointing loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never felt like they were in that at all.
Yeah, and they don't feel that dangerous to me in the playoffs.
No.
Hence me wanting the Broncos to play them because the Broncos are not that dangerous either.
I really thought they were going to keep getting better.
Steelers?
Yeah.
I didn't. But.
They just seemed like they were just like figuring some things out. Russell seemed like he was getting more comfy. I was like, they're going to be good. And then they just...
Yeah. Not great. So I had them at number 10. Broncos and Buccaneers just outside of my top 10, by the way.
Same. Well, great. This is probably all going to be the freaking same.
So at number 9, I had the Chargers.
Of course. We promised heated debates.
Very impressive second half of that game. Yeah. Like I have said, Broncos don't have enough weaponry, no run game, and Broncos were kind of running all over them in the first half. So was not impressed, but Broncos gifted them some free points at the end of the half, and they took advantage and never looked back. So put them at number 9.
Yeah, I too had the Chargers at 9. Ended up being pretty impressive to come back and win that against a good Broncos team. I mean, they're outside of my 10, but they're still a good team. But just like the Steelers, they don't feel scary.
No.
There's like you said, there's quite the drop off.
Yeah.
After the top 7-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At my number 8, I got the Rams. They've been hot, but they're, a liability for anybody in the postseason, but also might be a nice, easy win in the postseason.
So you're telling me that the Rams beat the Jets, one of the best teams of the past 20 years, and you only have them at number 8?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Me too. Do you have more to say?
Not really. They beat the Jets. Woo. The Jets beat the Jets. They put up 19. Rams put up 19 points. Let's not act like that's anything super crazy good.
Yeah.
But like I said, they've been on a tear. They've been winning. They got themselves back in the playoffs.
Yeah.
At least at the moment. So got them at 8.
Rams would be the first team on my list. I think I would fear some. Their young defense. By the way, they're kind of set up for some future success. I mean, I don't know how long Stafford's going to be around, but and Coop's looking a little older, but Kyren, Puka, and they have a young defense. They're almost paying.
They got like 3 rookies on their defense that are all good.
Yeah, they know how to draft defensive tackles. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have that number 8. Wouldn't love to see them as a Lions fan in the playoffs, but I mean I would pick the Lions to win, but
yeah,
they are definitely dangerous. And then at number 7, I had the Ravens. Big win against the Steelers. Just didn't feel like I could move them up past any of the other teams. Although next week, I almost guarantee I'll move them up at least one spot.
Yeah.
I had them at 7, playing well. Like you said, maybe that little lull in Henry's production will be good for him. Maybe
right.
Got a little
bit of rest.
In-game rest or whatever.
Okay.
Have them at 7.
Yeah, I too had Ravens at 7. Good divisional win.
Hey, when I share a copy of my notes with you, I don't want you to just copy my rankings.
Well, the thing is, I already did these before you sent me that copy. That copy was just so I can read the news.
Oh, so then you changed them after I sent it to you.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah, so...
Shh.
So I got the Ravens at 7. Henry, big bounce back game. See if he carries that in the postseason.
Now repeat all that so everyone can hear.
So Baltimore at 7. Like I said, good divisional game. Henry had the big bounce back game. We'll see if he can carry that in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, got the Green Bay Packers. They feel higher than 6, but also didn't feel like I could put them ahead of any of these guys. I mean, if you guys saw that Saints game, they had their way. There's not a ton to say about it. But also, they're just the Saints. But also, only shutout of the year.
Yeah, was an impressive win.
Yeah. I got Packers at 6.
Here we go. Number 6, I got the Packers.
Whoa.
I believe they're a better team than the Vikings, but two more losses, so can't put them ahead of them yet. Also, they have a chance to beat them this week and move ahead of them after that. So, that's a matchup of my.
Unfortunately, Minnesota hasn't done anything to move down further.
Yeah, that is a matchup of my 5 and 6 teams. Got the Packers at 6, Vikings at 5. We'll see what happens this week. Should be a good game.
Hey, our lists are a little bit different.
Really?
Yeah.
Just not yet.
I got the Bills at 5.
Oh.
Probably didn't need to move them down as far as they did.
I forgot about the Bills.
That was just a rough win against New England, and I realize divisional opponent, they're always a tough game, but it's the Patriots and it's
nothing
the Bills.
You can fall back on is their defense is not good.
Yeah, but
2 weeks in a row they gave up 40 plus and then gave up 21 to a not very good New England team. I mean, that's not like a lot of points, but
the other teams just, I guess, have been doing enough, which takes me to my 4, which is Minnesota. Sick of it. They just keep winning somehow, even though, I don't know. I mean, at times Darnold looks good, but also, I don't know. They don't make sense. They kind of do, but also don't. Darnold shouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they give him a big old contract extension.
That would be sick.
We were talking about it earlier. Feels like the most sensible thing to do would be to tag him and keep him or trade him. I guess it doesn't really matter, but why are you going to pay?
No matter what, don't let him just go.
Yeah, I mean, why let him walk for nothing when you can tag him? Why give him a big money contract extension for one good season when you can tag him?
Yeah, that was my 4.
Number 4, I had the Lions. I had them at 5 last week, so moved them up a spot after their fairly impressive win, even though it's against the Bears. Yeah, probably should move. I considered moving them ahead of the Eagles, who's my number 3 team, after the Eagles lost, but Eagles played without Hurts basically the whole game. And Saquon is a dog. Injuries, even after a win, still worry me. We'll see who they can get back in time for playoffs. But yeah, I had Lions at 4, Eagles at 3. I will be very happy if I don't have to worry about the Lions going to Philly for the NFC Championship game. So hopefully the Lions can lock that up. But yeah, Eagles at 3, looking dangerous.
I too have them at 3. Like we said, lost to Washington, but Jalen was out real early in that game, and they still kept it tight. And Washington's no slouch. Washington very well could have had a spot in our hierarchy, but they're still looking great. And my number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. Sick of them. I don't have anything. They keep winning. I guess actually a decent win now, but still didn't do a lot for me.
Weren't super impressive.
No.
But they find a way. I actually had the Bills at number 2, which gives away my number 1, Chiefs. We've kind of beating a dead horse at this point, but Bills didn't look that great this week. Defense doesn't look good, so
yeah, I just don't trust that defense anymore.
I had them at 2 last week, but moved the Chiefs up, kept the Bills where they were. Chiefs number 1, 14-1, hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
Plus, like we mentioned, getting healthy and playing better on offense. Chris Jones is kind of quietly having a really good season.
Of course he is.
Which he's a beast, unfortunately. Yeah. But, got the Chiefs at 1, and, in my opinion, they kind of have the 1 seed locked up. So.
Yeah. I got the Lions back up at number 1. They took a quick little hiatus after that Bills loss, but they looked like the old the early season Lions again against Chicago. It is Chicago, but also
I do feel like they've kind of adjusted a little bit. They feel like they understand that with their defensive players that they have out, they have to play a different way, and they're going to be in a little bit more shootout style games. So maybe open up the offense more and play to their strengths.
But let's not act like they didn't already have that offense opened up. They were already putting up hella points.
Yeah.
But this week could get some big changes in this. But also after this week could end up still the same. So we'll see.
Going to have to move Minnesota or Green Bay down.
Yeah.
Will be like the only change I foresee.
Depends on how that game goes.
If the Broncos can win the game against Cincinnati, I'd move them back into my top 10. But
yeah, especially depending on what the Steelers do.
Yeah,
they're on their way out.
Yeah,
but we hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas today, or yesterday, or the day before, whenever you end up actually watching this. yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Merry Christmas, everybody.